So, what's going on? How's life? What are we talking about? It's Hanukkah. It's Hanukkah. Hanukkah. You know what I want to do? I want to try something. I want to pull up Hanukkah on Wikipedia because I don't know anything about who I am. I'm trying to find myself, and this might be one way of doing it. I'm gonna spell it, by the way, with the CH. I love spelling Hanukkah with the CH, Anucha. You don't need the C. I mean, you do and you don't. Hanukkah. But I like spelling it with the C. And you know why? I've tried to think for years, why do I prefer spelling it with the C as opposed to not spelling it with the C? And I think it's because the C is kind of circular. It reminds me of the Starship Enterprise. So any word that looks closer to the Enterprise, I will go ahead and go with that word. So that's why I spell Hanukkah with the CH. Okay. So I'm looking on the Wikipedia page. By the way, Wikipedia does spell it Hanukkah, and they say you can also spell it as CH, but I see that they have made a choice to go with the Hanukkah. And maybe they are not the ones who made the choice. Maybe the Jews got together and said, well, if we had to choose between the C and the H, what do we choose? Let's go with this. Let's go with the H. And I've fallen on the wrong side of that argument. Fine. I don't care. I prefer to spell Hanukkah with the C. That's all I prefer. All right. Star Trek reference. That's fair. Okay. So Wikipedia article on Hanukkah. Let's learn about Hanukkah, kids. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, I see. Hanukkah with the CH. That's the Romanized version. So the Romans came in and said, well, there needs to be a C there. Clearly, we're Rome, and we can change how things are spelled. All right. Hanukkah is a Jewish festival commemorating an early victory in the Maccabean revolt. That sounds like an insult right there. Early victory. Already. An early victory. Did they win anything? No. But early victory. Hello back to you. We're having a Hanukkah conversation. I'm checking Wikipedia for Hanukkah and seeing what we're doing. Are you really a virgin? Not anymore. I lost it when I was 32 years old. Took me a long time, and I'm keeping the nerdy virgin handle because I've only had sex with one person, and though I'm not technically a virgin, psychologically I would argue I will always be a virgin. So there you go. There's some background for you right there. We're talking about Hanukkah. It's a Jewish festival commemorating an early victory in the Maccabean revolt against the Seleucid Empire. I'm not pronouncing that correctly. As recounted in the books of the Maccabees 1 and 2. And the Jewish War by Flavius Josephus. I'm always a fan of anything that Flavius Josephus writes. I don't know about you guys. I'm a fan of the name Flavius Josephus. That's pretty cool. Well, a happy Hanukkah to you too, sir. Flavius Josephus, that's cool. What a great name. I think the Josephus is cool, but the Flavius is a little bit, I don't know. The Flavius... I feel like somebody who's named Flavius, I'm expecting to be portly. That's unfair. There might be some very thin Flaviuses out there. Let's see. How much did that set you back? I think what he's referencing there is I lost my virginity through prostitution, which is I surprisingly no. I was expecting that myself. So were my parents. But it happened. All right. So Flavius Josephus, he was the one writing about Hanukkah, so that's how we know about Hanukkah, from Flavius Josephus. The recapture of Jerusalem in the year 164 BCE and subsequent rededication of the Second Temple. That's so depressing to me. The Second Temple. What happened to the First Temple? Oh, probably destroyed. So then there's the Second Temple. I don't know what temple the Jews are up to now. What is it, the 100th? The 101st? Is there even a point in building a temple at this point? Hanukkah is observed for eight nights and days, starting on the 25th day of Kislev. I don't think I'm saying that right. That's another great word, though, Kislev. On the Hebrew calendar, which may occur at any time from late November to late December in the Gregorian calendar. You know, the older I get, the more I like that Hanukkah happens whenever it happens. I like... Hanukkah's a badass holiday. Not like these other holidays. I lost somebody. Hanukkah comes when Hanukkah comes. And if you have a problem with that, it's your problem. Hanukkah is as Hanukkah does. I don't know why I'm quoting Forrest Gump there. But the only thing I wish is... Actually, where I think Hanukkah should go, I think we should go further. I think that any Jew at any time of the year should just be able to shout Hanukkah, and from then on out, they get 8 days off. I think it should be that arbitrary. If I'm having a frustrating day at the office, and midway through the meeting, it's like it's an I'm like, Hanukkah! It's over! Hanukkah! And then I get 8 days off, paid vacation, no questions asked. That is how we should run Hanukkah. That is brilliant. I should email the Jews. I should send an email to Jew@thejews.com. Oh my. All right. The festival is observed by lighting the candles of the candelabrum with 9 branches called a menorah, or Hanukkah. Is that right? Or Hanukkah? Hanukkah? I didn't know that was an alternate name for a menorah. I don't know if I believe that. Wikipedia. I don't know. I don't trust Wikipedia on that one. One branch is typically placed above or below the others, and its candle is used to light the other 8 candles. This unique candle is called the shamash. Isn't that something? The shamash candle, which was always my favorite candle because it was raised above all the other candles. I always liked that candle, the shamash. Each night, one additional candle is lit by the shamash until all 8 candles are lit together on the final night of the festival, and I think that's when they summon Captain Power, right? That's how this holiday works? I'll keep reading. Let's see. Okay. Other Hanukkah festivities include singing Hanukkah songs. Does anyone know a Hanukkah song that's decent? No. Other than the one Adam Sandler wrote. That does not count when I say Hanukkah songs. I mean from the old times. Nobody knows because we have terrible songs. Playing the game of dreidel, that game, which I played I think once in my life, you spin the top and you play with chocolate money. That's how we roll. That's how the Jews party. By the way, I've said this before and I'll say this again. I do think that the dreidel song is the most depressing song I've ever heard in my life. Oh, you found the menorah emoji. That's great. There's an emoji for everything now. I hate emojis. I've discussed that before. I think you were in the room when I discussed that before. I'm not going to repeat myself. It's important that the content that we generate is fresh and new every single time, he says as he continues talking about being Jewish, which he's been doing for the past 10 years of doing stand-up. All right. Other Hanukkah festivities include singing the Hanukkah songs, playing the game of dreidel, and eating oil-based foods. Why? Because we're celebrating the lamp oil lasted for 8 nights instead of 1. So how do we commemorate that? If it has oil in it, eat it. Such as latkes and sufengyat. I don't know what that's just a bunch of letters. And dairy foods. Great. So a bunch of lactose intolerant Jews spend 8 nights eating oil and dairy-based foods. Fantastic. So Hanukkah is followed by, the Festival of Lights is followed by the Festival of Irritable Bowel Syndrome. That's what's going on there. All right. Since the 1970s, the worldwide Chabad Hasidic movement has initiated public menorah lightings in open public places in many countries. Since the 1970s, there was a major Jewish awakening where people in cities all over America went, we needed a menorah in the center of the town. Call Shmuel. Get a menorah here. And it is true. In downtown Burbank, right now, folks, in downtown Burbank, right now, we have a Christmas tree, a menorah, and I shit you not, a statue of Batman. Thus, all the major holidays are being covered. All the major Christmas, Hanukkah, and Justice League. The Festival of Justice. Oh my God. All right. Yes, IBS Festival. I see what you did there. Although a relatively minor holiday in strictly religious terms, Hanukkah has attained major cultural significance in North America and elsewhere, especially among secular Jews, due to its occurring around the same time as Christmas. So I think that's Wikipedia basically saying what we already know, which was Christmas became popular and the Jews went, we want to do the presents and the thing with the boo. We have Hanukkah. Why don't we have Hanukkah? Incidentally, you know what that reminds me of, actually? Back in the late 1970s, speaking of the 1970s, when Star Wars was a big success, Paramount Pictures, who was a competitor, said, well, what do we have? Well, we have Star Trek. So Star Trek, you might say, is the Hanukkah to the Star Wars Christmas. I feel very good about what just happened there. Okay. Let's see. Let's keep going. Etymology. Ooh! Etymology. I love etymology. Let's get busy with the etymology. The name Hanukkah derives from the Hebrew verb something, meaning to dedicate. So we celebrate dedicate. We celebrate the day of dedication. On Hanukkah, the Maccabean Jews regained control of Jerusalem and rededicated the temple. Oh, yes. Love it. The rededication of the temple. Many homiletical explanations have been given for the name. Here's example number 1. The name can be broken down into they rested on the 25th. That doesn't really roll off the tongue. Happy they rested on the 25th, everybody. The other thing from the same root is the name for the Jewish education, emphasizing ethical training and discipline. Happy Ethical Training and Discipline Day, Jews. Or Hanukkah is also the Hebrew acronym for 8 candles. And the Halakha is the House of Hillel, a reference to the disagreement between 2 rabbinical schools of thought. So you're saying the name Hanukkah is basically an argument. An argument is in the name. Nothing is more Jewish than that, ladies and gentlemen. There's a section on alternative spellings. Should I also cover that? I'm going to skip that because I covered that at the beginning of this quote-unquote podcast. All right, Book of Maccabees, historical sources. Let's do it. The story of Hanukkah is preserved in the books of the 1st and 2nd Maccabees, which describe in detail the rededication of the Temple of Jerusalem and the lighting of the menorah. These books are not part of the canonized Tanka, Hebrew Bible, used by modern Jews, though the Catholic and Orthodox churches consider them part of the Old Testament. Wait a minute. So you're saying the Jews don't even consider this part of what we do, but the Christians do? I'm very confused now. So are the Jews. The 8-day rededication of the temple is described in Maccabees 436-459, though the name of the festival and the miracle of the lights do not appear there. Was this even... Did we just pull this out of our ass in the 70s? Is that what this is saying? Is that what this is saying? I can't tell. I cannot tell. Let's just jump to the narrative of Josephus, because I like the name Josephus. The Jewish historian Titus Flavius Josephus, what a name, narrates in his book Jewish Antiquities the 7th. That's a popular wow, they could get if he could sell 6 and they had to do a 7th. How the victorious Judas Maccabeus ordered lavish yearly 8-day festivities after rededicating the temple in Jerusalem that had been profaned by Antiochus IV Epiphanes. Josephus does not say the festival was called Hanukkah, but rather the Festival of Lights, which is a sexier name, the Festival of Lights, than the Festival of Hanukkah. Although I think the Festival of Lights, let's be honest, is a little bit of an overstatement. There's only 8 of them. 9 if you count the shofar thing. It's not a lot of lights. I think to call it the Festival of Lights, I think you need at least 100 lights. I hate to say it. You need at least 100 lights. So that's, 12 menorahs and more. Look at me doing math in the middle, in the moment. Let's see. Other ancient sources. In the New Testament, I don't know why we're talking about the New Testament. What does that have to do with it? Then came the festival of the dedication of Jerusalem. It was winter, and Jesus was in the temple courts walking in Solomon's colonnade. It should then go on to say, oh, did I lose you? I'm back. It paused because it doesn't know I'm doing a live. That's how much of a failure I am as a comedian. Fantastic. Apparently Jesus celebrated Hanukkah. I feel like he got a dreidel and then he said, I'm going to make a better present. I'm going to turn this dreidel into wine. Ba-dum-bum-ping! Yeah, Hanukkah. All right. I'm going to wrap this up shortly. This is going to be a relatively brief podcast / live stream. Oh, what am I saying? Relatively brief. We're at 17 minutes. I usually try to aim for 20 minutes. That's good. How do I wrap up this thought about Hanukkah? All right. Here's a personal story. About Hanukkah. One of the Hanukkahs, we'd always, my parents would take me to my aunt's, and I'd play with my cousins, and there's Hanukkah. Not an hour today. I appreciate the effort, but no. We're going to wrap this up. We're going to do no more than 20 minutes. I got to go and get me my late night dessert snack. At any rate, I'm going to. So we go to Hanukkah, and my mom gets sick, and she says, "I'm sick. I got to go." And I got really, really upset with her because I wanted to stay and continue playing with my friends. This might have been Halloween, now that I think about it. Either or. So we left, and I got really upset, and I said to my mom, I hate you. Which was a very harsh thing to say. I was, 12 when this happened. And then a couple of weeks ago, my mom says to me, remember that time we left home early and you said you hate me? You still hate me. Which is the Snyder trait, is that we will find a way, no matter what, to always feel guilty about everything. And I was like, no, Mom, I do not hate you. And frankly, I didn't hate you then. I was too young to suggest maybe someone else drives me home. But no, I do not hate you. And for the record, I do not hate my mother. I just also want to point out that that it's been 30 years since that happened, and she hasn't forgotten. So in a way, we were that's how we celebrate. We were celebrating Hanukkah by going, hey, remember what you said to me? Feel guilty about that again. Okay, I will. Oh, you want to do a Mandalorian bit to close? The Mandalorian, I don't know. You want a Mandalorian bit? I don't want to buy another app, so I'm not watching The Mandalorian. I'm just reading what people say about it and piecing it together. He's protecting a thing that looks like Yoda. We met Ashoka, who was in a cartoon, and now she's not. And apparently there's some metal that is strong enough for a lightsaber. Mandalorian. Boom! There you go. That's about as much as I want to spend on the Mandalorian. That Mandalorian's different. Mandalorian sounds more like a holiday and something sexy. Mandalorian is sexy. Mandalorian, oh my. Mandalorian, yes. So that's my thought about that. And also, you know what? The one scene I was watching because it was on a TV at an electronics store, 3 people in the scene had helmets on. And it's this very serious scene of 3 people with helmets. The 3 people are wearing helmets. We don't even know if they're talking to each other. None of the actors who purported to be in the scene might have even been in the scene. It could have been. They could have set up 3 just armor mannequins and just done the voiceovers in post. I don't want to watch. Everybody has a helmet. I don't want to watch that. I want to see a face. A Luke bit? All right. All right, you know what? If you want a Luke bit, follow me and follow find my podcast, The Joshcast, on iTunes, and share it with your friends, and then I'll do a Luke bit. All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up there. We learned a little bit about Hanukkah. I got angry about The Mandalorian, and I teased a Luke bit. You guys have been phenomenal. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening. Please do tell people I have this, and please follow me at Nerdy Virgin on all channels, and check out the more Joshcast and tell people about it. And that's that, my friends. That is that.